Alright guys, this is a challenge lock from Bill down in Florida, and Bill runs an airport, says he got 200 American locks with similar cores, and he pinned this one up as a challenge, and this is my second attempt to get into this. Learned a couple of things. First of all, it's probably all serrated is my guess, and also it does get a little bit hung up, and I also learned not, the first time around I accidentally turned the key to 180, and whatever is in the Bible jumped down into that groove at the bottom of the key. I had a heck of a time. So don't do that if you get this lock. Don't know what else to tell you. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this thing open. I'll give it another shot. Give it another 10 minutes. That's about the attention span of most of us. Mine too. I'm really going to clamp this up. Last time I didn't put too much torque on it, and it's a little bitty lock and not a lot of surface area, so it was kind of flopping around. This time I'm not going to make that same mistake. Alright, I am going to test it one more time, make sure I didn't over tighten, and it does work, so give it extra there just to be sure. Alright, see what we got here. It is a pretty wide open keyway, but you have to use a thin pick. I'm going to be using this is a 13,000 hook and a 3D printed handle that I made. And the reason I'm going to use that is I can actually go from the very bottom, and it's just narrow enough to bypass all the warding and get access to those pins. So if you use anything thicker than this, you're going to have to use it from that ledge right there. And then you're kind of picking up an angle. It's kind of hard to get. If there are any real high cut pins, it's going to be hard to get at them. So we're not going to do that either. I'm going to use top of the keyway. If you got a 50 thousandths, this is a 1.2 millimeter or 44 thousandths. Alright, I am going to zoom in a little bit. The feedback is very subtle. So let's see what we got. I learned a lesson, don't try to force it. So very, very light tension. I thought I saw the obligatory cat hair. Alright, got that out of the way. Alright, very, very light tension on this one. I'm just looking for a binder. You're going to hear a lot of, okay, I'm on pin 3. Here's the binder. And we got to click off him. You're going to hear a lot of snapping noises. That's really me going around that piece of warding in the middle of the keyway there. Okay, that was pin 5. 3, I think we got 3 picked. Okay, that was pin 2. I got to click off of him. The reason I say serrated is a little counter rotation there on 3. Give him another click. Is I learned if you put too much tension, everything binds up, those pins kind of dig in. So I suspect that we got some very sharp edges in there, like serrations, either with the pins or in the core in the Bible, or maybe all of those. And I believe those guys in the back are picked, and I believe 3 also picked. Okay, that was 1. I got to click on him. A very slight turn on the core now. I'm getting counter rotation on 3, so I just gave him a tiny little click, and I felt it give on the core. I'm going to try from the edge here, try to get around the tension wrench and get it pin 1. See if he's, oh, here we go. He's binding. I got a very deep fault set now. My pick is now stuck. There we go. I'm going to hold this and reposition the tensioner because he did kind of jump there. Got a good fault set going. So there's a spool or a T-pin in there somewhere. And the way we know the difference is if I put tension on it and I get counter rotation, then we know we got a spool. If we go through it and there's no counter rotation, that tells you that there's a T-pin bound up in there, and your job just got a little harder. And I think that our job just got a little harder. So what I'm going to have to do is try to find a binder and then lighten up. There we go, I'm getting counter rotation. So maybe it is a spool. Hiding there, pin number 1. And there we go. Alright, so pin 1, I'll bet, is a spool, or has a spool design into it to allow us to get that counter rotation. All right, let me back this baby out and let's open it up. Let's see what we got inside of here. This should be pretty easy. Slide this dude off. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and lock it because I do have a key. And pull this dude right off of there. It's just a piece of copper. Get a pinning tray. Oops. Well, it went out of the frame, man. Sorry about that. So now it doesn't count as a pick. It disappeared from the frame. I know, I got it, but now it's not even opening. There we go. I swear it's not a different lock, but all right, let's see what we got here. I bet we definitely have some T-pin components in there. Obviously not in the bottom, though. That's what we're looking at. Nothing unusual so far. Okay, I'm starting to see some threads as I take these guys out of here, though. Okay, he is definitely a spool. The key pin is a spool. Serrated. A homemade spool. Very sharp edge. Very nasty looking sharp edge spool. Another one. And the sixth one looks to be serrated. Okay, what do we got in the core? Looks like, hey, 4. Only 4. I would have swore it was all of them. So 1, 2, 3, and 6 threaded. Let's take a look at the Bible. First of all, we're going to look in here, and you see, I'll bet they're all threaded. And you can see some thread marks inside of there. And that's okay. If it makes it harder to open, it's worth every thread. All right, we have a very sharp edged serration on this one. Actually, no, I take that back. Now that he's all the way out, that's a commercial spool. And he was just barely, let me put him back in there, just barely hanging in there, very light. Put him in the right place. All right, the second one is, come out of there, can't see you hiding back there. A little serrated guy. I have taller spring in that one as well. So in chamber 1, we have a little copper spring, and we got a longer steel spring in 2. So number 3 is another commercial serrated spool, and another steel, looks like another steel spring. Yep, and I have no idea where that guy went. There he is. I need a blast shield around here. 4, serrated spool. All these look to be commercial, so homemade. And I'll bet, I'm going to turn them upside down, I bet we got another copper one. Yep, little bitty baby copper one. Number 5 is, he was in like that, with the point coming up. I would think he would have been more effective the other way around, but that's the way he came out. So that's the way I'm going to put him on the pinning tray. And spring, another baby copper one, and the last pin, he just barely, let me pull the follower out. You can just see him barely sticking up back there. So I'm thinking another baby spring, and he is a serrated. And we got another one of these little baby copper guys. All right, what do we got? Serrations, yes. In 1 through 4, I can see serrations. 5 and 6 do not have serrations, and yet they have serrations on the top. So somebody is up to some trickery, Bill. So you kind of faked me out, leading me to believe they were all 6 serrated while only 4 of them were. Good job. Deception, I love it. Psychological warfare, guys. All right, there's what you got. On the bottom, everything is homemade, every single one of them. So what we're looking at here, we have a spool, we have a serrated, a homemade spool, a double. That's a really interesting looking little pin right there. And then another spool and then a serrated key pin there. On the top, they're all commercial. We have a serrated, almost all serrated spools. There's a serrated with a little groove on it. That looks like Bill might have cut that there. Serrated spool, serrated spool. This one was homemade. It was a key pin, but he had it upside down. I don't know why we would do that. And then another commercial serrated. So there you go, guys. Even the springs varied. So we had 4 of these little copper guys, 2 longer steel ones to give me some variation in tensioning. A lot of deception going on here, Bill. Great job. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Everybody else, guys, stay safe. And as always, stay legal.